What's going on, my beautiful people? It's your host from the podcast, Just the Tip, Where's the Rest of It? I'm Jules. And joining me today, I have another special guest, one of my very best friends, love her dearly, great veteran of the server industry. She's been in this business probably as long as I have, maybe even longer. I don't know. Casey, introduce yourself, babe. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. My name is Casey. I've been in the industry for 25 plus years, so I know what you know. I got what you got.
Well, there's another reason I brought you here today. See, Casey is a hoot. You just don't know it yet. You got to get to know her. Cheers, darling. Now, Casey and I met at a large corporation that, well, we didn't have any ties anymore. Fuck Bubba's. Fuck Texas Roadhouse. Fuck them both,
What
yeah.
happened was.
Fuck them with a sick dick, although it looks like somebody already did.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's why we are else.
so, anyhow, we met at Bubba's, and I think one of the first moments that I was like, this is going to be a good friend was when someone asked her about this pink lady iced tea that we had.
Oh my God.
The pink lady ice Long Island iced tea, Casey. When they asked you
Oh
about
my God. That's the story.
well, no, that's just a question. That's it. What happened when they asked you about the pink lady iced tea? How pink? No, officially the question was, how pink is the pink lady Long Island iced tea?
And then she said, and got written up for, it's as pink as my nipples. Because what had happened was I am Scottish. So I apologize.
So apparently Scottish nipples are very pink. I don't know. I think this podcast would become X-rated if I asked you to prove it, but no, we're not going to go there. Anyhow, so just a little background on the time, a little bit about where Casey and I met. Casey's, like I said, she's a hoot, she's a holler, she was great, and she's got a very interesting point of view, especially about what we're going to talk about today, guys. And we needed a drink for that shit, right? We need a drink for that one. What we're going to talk to you about today is I'll say it nicely first, and then I'll say it my way. Bringing children to a restaurant. The way I see it. We're going to talk about bringing fucking brats into a restaurant. There's a big difference. Casey, you're a mom.
I mean, yes, I am a mother, but there's brats and there's children. And there are children who get,
Do your children, did your children ever have to get?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's only fucking natural, right? Like you cannot bring a child into. Okay, let's start with clarifying something before we make some unfollowers here. We don't hate children. We don't dislike children. No, let me say that again.
Period.
She doesn't hate children. She doesn't dislike children. Fuck them kids.
Fuck
That's what
them
I say.
damn
Fuck
kids.
them kids.
I mean,
Fuck
there's
them
a difference.
kids.
There's a restaurant and there is a playground. It's two different things.
But sometimes there's restaurants with playgrounds.
Okay, but
So that leads us into what this is how we're going to justify my dislike for children sometimes. There are appropriate places to take children. And, we just happen to work in some of those places where there's music and videos and just loud ass shit. Like you can't even hear yourself think. So some child in the background going every, 3 seconds, even though it makes my eye just kind of twitch a little and jump.
Yeah.
I'll handle. But it's my house. This is my theory too. I believe that God sends me a screaming child every day into my section just to punish me for never having it. Yeah, I think so. And because, yeah, the whole time we worked together, I never saw you with screaming children in your section. It's always me with a high chair, just some kid just screaming his fucking head off. Um, Now, what's our opinion on that? Like, what do you think parents need to do when that shit starts going down?
Okay, honestly, like I said, I've been a mom. I still am a mom. But when your kid is causing a disturbance to the other people around you who are trying to enjoy the time, because not everybody has money. Not everybody's got that extra, and this is their only time to come out and enjoy themselves. And your kid's being a
A twat waffle.
Twat waffle.
I like how she did that. She's a twat waffle.
Okay, so the mom or the dad takes them out, okay, into the parking lot, and they chill, they'll chill, until the other one is done eating, and if the kid's still being a fucking twat waffle, and then the other one comes in and like it's reciprocated. You don't just let the kid scream and fuck everybody else's shit up, really. That's like it's
Yeah, I agree.
it's
But
poorly.
here's where we differ is that, there's this system of like, tap me in. I got to go finish my dinner, mom, and tap dad in so he can go finish his dinner. That's a lot of work. I would just take
So
the
is
kid to
cleaning
the
up
car
after
and
your
I would
fucking kid.
whip that ass.
Damn
I
it.
will whip that ass.
And then they come and they're like,
Exactly. What I fucking say?
mac and
What else?
cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I mean, there's two ways to handle it. Either you take the child out of,
Wipe their
outside.
boogers.
Yeah, or you say, "Do you want to go to the restroom?"
See, dude.
I love when we to the parents
Does they say,
who do the, "Do you want to go to the restroom?"
dude, that shit resonates with me because when I was little, my mom would do that, and I lived in.
And
This
what would
little
happen
town.
in the restroom?
Oh my god! So my mom would take me, and she's like, "You want to go to the restroom?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And then I learned.
You dared her. You were like, "Yeah."
I learned what it was about, and then
It wasn't to powder your nose, huh?
to powder my ass. So what had happened was there was this other little girl, and I was sitting there. I was like, it was a tiny fucking town. And I'm just sitting here like this, and then I'm being quiet. And then the other mom said to this other little girl who was acting her ass, and she goes, "You want to go to the bathroom?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This is not what you want."
You don't know what's going to happen in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I've never seen what happens in the bathroom.
Oh, I got handles.
I mean, I grew up in a Mexican house, so I'll tell you what happens if the Mexican mom takes you to the restroom.
You die.
There you go. And she has to give you CPR and bring you back to the table before, CPS.
Todo bien.
CPR before CPS. And you knew better than to come back even trying to cry, because they would take you back. So they're like, "You want to go back?"
Hell no, I'm never gonna pee again.
So yeah, I mean that's one way to look at. Okay, rather than look at it in such a negative form, this is our retort to to the negativity about
Not
this.
even a retort, just like
Because
kids can be awesome.
There are places to bring them. There are places to go. And unfortunately, I think it lies within the adults to understand that you're in a stage of parenting where there are certain places where you just don't belong with your children. And that's not discrimination, that's not exclusion. It's just consideration for the other guests around, which kind of leads me into one of the stories that one of the funniest things I've seen. The other day we had that, that one child that's just shrieking and shrieking and shrieking, and it was so acoustic, bouncing off all the walls. Everyone in the restaurant was looking at me like. So the table next to them, you would imagine, they finally fucking had it. And so the little girl shrieked, and they were an older couple. So I consider myself an older person. I fucking, at 25, I'm pretty old. So
Fuck up.
me being of a certain age, 25 and all, I can't handle noise like that. And so the old man got up and he yelled at the parents of the little kid, and he was like, "Y'all aren't gonna do shit about that. You're just gonna let her keep going. And we just fuck our meal." And everyone went silent and looks over at the man at Jackie. "You're gonna let that go? You're gonna let that happen?" And we're just like.
And then Jackie's like 24, so she was like,
It's just like, what do I do?
"Ayúdame, no
So-
sé."
Yeah, we lost a guest because of a shrieking child.
Yeah.
At Bubba's and Roadhouse, I never really saw it happen because it's too loud.
That's
the appropriate place to bring them.
Exactly. There's a place to bring a kid, and there's a place not to bring a kid.
Chili's,
then-
Bubba's, Texas Roadhouse, Buffalo Wild
Southwest
Wings.
Emerald.
But then here's the other thing. You take them to that place and do what? Lock them in their fucking high chair. Strap them in. Don't let them run around the fucking restaurant and be a liability to the servers. Like, what
Dude,
the fuck,
literally. But like one time, this was like 20 years ago, but it was in Olive Garden, and I told this family, and I'm sorry, but they would.
At Olive Garden. Oh, how dare you!
But anyway, they were just letting their kid fucking run around, and like I was carrying like we didn't have like plasticware. It was like freaking ceramic plates. So I'm trying to do this. I'm like, can you control your kid, please? Can you just like, keep them? He says, no, I can't.
Oh,
You know what I did?
no.
I threw a boat. I threw a boat. I threw a boat. And you know what happened? That kid hit the ground. They left. They didn't sit. But you know what the fuck?
You hit him with your elbow.
I did.
You bowed him.
No, I just like I didn't like.
You know you clotheslined the fuck out of that child.
Clothesline. That's the fuck that I was trying to say. No, I did not clothesline him. But what had happened was I was walking very loosely, and I said, right in his temple. He might have a different accent now. Yeah, but like, bro, this isn't a fucking playground. This is a place of business. We are catering to you. We are on our best. And whenever your kids are acting like a fucking animal, and it's not a fucking playground, like you.
And back the truck up. It's not the kid's fault. That's what we want to clarify is we don't blame the children. It's not, a child is a child with an underdeveloped frontal lobe. They just don't know how to act unless they've been taught by the people who raw dogged and had them.
Or clotheslined by a server in their early 20s.
Yeah, or until they get clotheslined by a server. I'll be the first to admit, I purposely, in the 90s and 2000s, when there was, baby junior son of a bitch just running eights around the entire dining room, just running eights and shit, I'm a good actor. I let him cross my path and just dropped an entire food of someone's tray, a table's food. I dropped 4 or 5 entrees straight up on the ground, let everything splash everywhere, and I was like, the child. I tripped over the child.
Damn, I thought one of my bows was bad. You're dropping hot spaghetti on.
Oh yeah, they're over there comping like hundreds of dollars because I fucking dropped an entire tray. But I'm like,
Brandon, are you okay?
That finally made the GM be like, "Can you sit your child down, please?" But it takes that. Like they have to tell you to tell your children to behave. That's the part. That's whose fault it is. You people who are out there not controlling your kids, who probably don't know how to behave in a restaurant, and are bringing them to places like Ruth Chris or fucking BJ's Brew House, or where else is a place where children just don't belong? That horrible fucking asshole steakhouse I worked for. J. Alexander's. There you go.
Oh, shit.
Another asshole company, just total douchebag company, bro. I think whoever invented that company was like the king of the fucking OCD mania. Like, I think to work there, I think that in order to work there, you had to show up with your dry clean shirt with a dry clean tag on the sleeve, your spotless black apron, your creased sleeves, your 6 pens that all were the exact same. None of them could be different. 6, exactly. Not 5, not 7, 6. Black socks, black belt, name tag in the right place, shave in the right way, hair all in the right place, or your crummer, your wine key, and I think your grandma's left kidney. I don't know what the fuck else you had to have.
2 type shit, they're like,
yeah,
all right,
exactly. No, they really did. They lined you up like in some fucking military school.
Was that Landry's?
No, J. Alexander's.
I
mean, it's a decent place. Like nothing to write home about, but they have good food and shit. But they're just douchebag to the staff, like Landry's. You were pretty close to the mark. Landry's also, douchebag training, douchebag people, douchebags. Horrible company to work for. Landry's and Texas Roadhouse, J. Alexander's. Fuck those companies. They suck. I tend to be more of a mom and pop shop type person. When I find a privately owned place that values me, I enjoy it. But back to the topic, bringing your children into a restaurant. Mom and pop shops are probably some of the more understanding places about shit like that.
No, definitely, because they have the kids menu. So like, hey, we have seating for you. You need a high chair. You need a boost seat, whatever.
What's the worst incident or most embarrassing incident for you that you've had at a table with a child?
They shit their fucking pants. I had one puke on the fucking table on the entree, and then my manager was on our asses about comps. I'm like, hey, yeah, you. I'm like, hey, I need another. I need another dish because this isn't gonna work. And the kid freaking barfed on it and shot their pants. Like the kid should not have been there. They should have been at home or in a hospital. Um, but yeah, I had to go to the manager and get that comped, and he was on my ass about comps. And,
Inconsiderate parenting. You should, you look at your kid and you look at them and you're like, they look like they're about to die. But let's go to Bubba's. Let's go to Bubba's. Yeah.
Type shit. But they didn't even they just let it happen to me, and I'm like,
I think I kind of remember that. I remember joking about that. I was like, some child is just spewing COVID-19 all over Booth.
Dude, COVID 1923
all over the floor. 88. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that day. That's the thing. Some shit like that goes down, and then they start to behave as though you need to move heaven and earth to clean this and fix this, and then they start asking for comps on the food. It's like your child puked on shit. Why are we comping anything? Exactly. Parents. What it boils down to is parents need to be more responsible about your children when you take them into public establishments, and not because Jules can't fucking stand children, because other people are paying for their dining experience. They don't get to do it all the time. Maybe someone's having date night. They don't get date night often. And little junior baby son of a bitch over here is fucking, throwing the salt and pepper shakers everywhere. And
or just make it like freaking cool.
Yeah, doing a puzzle collage with the sugar packets and shit.
Letting their kids do that shit. No.
And here's one of the best ones. This is what makes you a douchey parent if you do this, okay? Just a PSA about bringing fucking children to a restaurant. You are a douchebag if you bring these ridiculous, stupid stick-on mats that you stick on the table and then start scattering your fucking children's cereal all over it. And then they just mush it into the fucking mat. And you leave it there stuck to the fucking table for the busser to unstick, and with all that sticky film shit all over the table.
It's like throwing a flower balloon at your friend's car with water and they can't get it off.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. And then if you are leaving a fucking 18% tip when your child's rice is all over the floor, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. There is a reason why there's a 20% system, because guess what? Some busser has to go clean up all that shit your kid did.
And then we get to tip them out.
No, and they'd love to be like, sorry for the mess, and leave you $10.
I'm like, oh.
And they justify that with
$10. That ain't high.
On 80, or on fucking $100.
No, I'm gonna delete this tip. Here's $1.
What?
$1 from a veteran.
Well, I think the elderly are the only people that I give a green or a pass to on all that shit. Yeah, but they don't get to make any more. We can still churn it out. They don't. It's stopped. So they're on a fixed income. It's funny. I defend old people and I'm fucking persecuting children.
Fuck these.
I'm over here advocating for the elderly, but persecuting toddlers. No, yeah, don't fucking do that. And if you do that, if you bring that stupid ass mat and leave that horrible, disgusting plastic fucking spoon on the table with your kids spit all over it, you better leave a fucking $20 bill on that table. You better. For every hour that you were there doing that shit.
At least scrape it like I'm fine.
No, some I will say that some of you are considerate and you peel the shit and you throw it away. So half of them leave it there and then leave the shittiest fucking tip behind it. And then tell you, I'm so sorry about the mess. Oh.
Matthew.
Okay, and let's back the truck up again. This goes back to the concept of being a guest. Okay, when you're a guest at someone's house, would you let your kid do that shit?
No.
And you'd be cleaning it up. You'd be like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. I got this, and they'd be like, leave it. And you're like, no, I got it. That's what a guest does. So if you're a guest at a restaurant, even if you're a paying guest, you're the reason you're paying is because somebody's sitting there waiting on you, not because you're so pretty and we like you, but because it's our fucking job. So then you bring your kids and make that fucking mess with that stupid, ridiculous mat. Dude, we didn't have mats. I think we got just a piece of paper and a crayon when we were
No,
kids.
we
Right?
ate off the table like the Neanderthals. And also with the mac and cheese, and also I worked at a Mexican restaurant. And they're like, "Oh, Pedro, you want some Mexican rice?" Okay, that was the prices, right? But anyway, what had happened was I would give Pedro the Mexican rice, and like the rice, it fucking exploded everywhere. And then I had to clean it up, and like zero tip, zero tip, zero tip, zero tip. I'm like, bro.
And they justify this with, I have children. I have to save money. Then you don't go out to fucking eat. As stated in another episode called the boiling point, or the tipping point, the boiling point. You know, eating out is not a privilege. Eating out is not a right. Eating out is not just something for everyone. Eating out is a luxury. I can't afford it every fucking day, so I don't do that. And when I do, I make sure that I'm going to pay the people that are working for me in that establishment, that busser, that server, the waiter. There's the hostess. There's 4 people involved in the cut of your tip. It's like, you know, four people with their hands in the cut, and that fucking saying we're the ones that are over here, you know, asking you, you know, kissing your ass left and right, getting your, you know, working you for your tip, and you think that it's just for a tip? No, it's for like 4 different people. So we got to hustle for 4 different people.
So for every $100 that you sell, and it's a 4.5% tip, it means for every $100 that you sell, $4.50 that they tip does not go to you.
Exactly. And now we're just talking about a normal regular table that needs low maintenance and that you don't really have to fuck with too much. When we're talking about, like I'm saying, you know, this mess that they leave behind with children, and these fucking piles of napkins and fucking just dirty odors everywhere.
And then the broom doesn't even pick up. Like, you have to go over and over, and you make it into a paste.
They manage to fucking wedge stuff in places that you can't even reach in the booth. You're like, was the kid fucking crawling under there, or were they eating under the table? Like, what
the blue crayons taste the best.
I think that a lot of these people do it purposely because they always have to clean up after their kids at home. This is just my personal belief and observation that, you know, since they're always cleaning up after the kids at home and shit, they came to a restaurant like, let's let someone else clean up after them, and they just let them go ape shit. Because I want to ask them, like, do you let them do all this at your house? Like, do they scatter all the shit that's on the table everywhere? And do they smash their rice into the table and fucking, yeah, you know, like make fucking little pancake torts out of their, you know, bread rolls and stupid shit like that? Like, do they do all that at home? No, right? And they get corrected right away. But why is it okay to do that in a restaurant? Probably because you feel that you're paying someone for their time to clean it up, but you're not. Exactly. Put your money where your mouth is. And I'm going to say that a million times throughout this podcast. Put your money where your mouth is. There's half these things, these grievances that we're talking about, they sound like I'm just bitching and like I'm not, you know, grateful for the job that I have, and that I'm not, you know, I'm in the wrong industry because I don't like. No, I love doing what I do. And I love working for people. And I'm a people pleaser, but I'm not an idiot. And I'm not, you know, I'm not a nanny. I'm not a fucking maid. I'm a server. I'm there to serve you, not clean up after your children or deal with your children having a tantrum. You know, that's the stuff that you deal with, that you take them out of the restaurant. I think my best parenting story that I saw this week, I saw a parent do that. A child just started freaking out, screaming in the high chair. He wasn't having it. Dad took him outside. I literally just started clapping, and people started laughing, and I was like, finally, someone who does it right. That, you know, so I will say there are some of you that do it right, and that's how you do that shit right.
And they were raised well as well.
Man, there's other incidents in which people refuse to just acknowledge it. And I think that's what bothers me the most too, is like they've become numb to the shit. So they're sitting there talking to their significant other or their best friend while the little fucking brat is just going off, shrieking, screaming, running around, throwing things, and they're just talking like, they're just zoning it out. Everyone else around you doesn't have to do that. the other people that are paying for their lunch and their dinner, trying to have a conversation next to you and can't because your child is screaming, didn't come for that. So unless you're buying their meal, sit your kid the fuck down.
Dude,
Shut them up. Yeah, that's your job. Now, there was there was a party that I walked up to one time over at this lovely place we call Bubbles. Uh, and I walk up to this lady, and so she's in a booth and she's waiting on a margarita, and she looks fucking over it. She's just like, yeah, her face is just over it, right? And I bring her margarita, and she's like, "Thank you." And the kid in front of her, in the booth in front of her, is like, and so I look at her and kind of wink, and I'm like, "So, is there anything else I can bring you? Some aspirin, maybe?" And she looks me dead in the face and goes, "Are you talking shit about my kid?"
Oh my god.
No, I was in trouble. I was in trouble for a minute. I fixed it though. I was like, "Oh, relax." I say that to everyone. I was like, "Besides, he's not that big." The kid was fucking screaming his head off, and she goes, "I know he's loud. Okay, that's why I ordered a margarita." Right then and there, I'm like, "Oh, so you know that your child's a fucking hot mess right now, and you're doing nothing except you'd rather down some alcohol so you don't have to. You can phase it out, like." No, you're an asshole if you do that shit. Don't do that shit. Bring your kids to a place where there's plenty of noise and where it's not gonna, they blend in. They blend in. Now there's also a group of people who bring this new generation of kids is very disrespectful. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Like these teenagers nowadays, they're fucking disrespectful. Some of the shit they do and say, I could never get away with. And even preteens. The preteens are the worst, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're not only disrespectful, but they're pampered, disrespectful brats.
By their parents.
Exactly.
And those are the same motherfuckers that are the little, like, yeah. No, it's dead ass, but they just like those shit. They get their things and they do it and they don't tip you anything, and then the rudest shit. They're like trying to impress each other. Well, you're trying to be a professional, you know?
You notice how she keeps coming back to the one thing that we keep saying, but you don't tip. There's the thing, and that's the point I want to illustrate here is that we don't have a problem dealing with your kids. We'll fake it till we make it. We'll act like we love the shit out of them. We'll, make it all about the kids. Now, here's the thing too: is that if you focus on the kids sometimes, and it's in our power to flip the script. So sometimes you can see that a little kid might be workable and they're throwing a tantrum and you're like, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?"
Or give one of these high fives.
Yeah. They're like, "Come on, calm down." And they chill the fuck out. And all of a sudden you're a miracle worker. They love you and they'll tip the shit out of you for that. Or if you're accommodating to the children and the kids are behaving well, so you're telling the parents like, "Hey, you want me to send in their food first?" And I got that. And, rush the food for the kids. And we do our part to be considerate. I think that when there's kids at a table, they're the first ones I ask about and the first ones that I suggest. Should I bring their food out first? Granted, again, when we were kids, we ate what everyone else ate, if we ate. I don't know.
No matter how spicy it was, it didn't give a fuck. But yeah, the high fives, they don't be going nowhere anymore.
Yeah, no. They look at you like,
they're like stranger danger.
Yes. These parents are they're making their kids pussies. You're making your kids pussies. And then bringing them this special, okay, there doesn't need to be a kit I have a kit to take a special needs child out. So I have a kit with like diapers and wipies and like distraction devices and things like that's our kit for our mentally disabled child or person.
That's cool as shit.
Okay, I see the same kind of kit for kids that are like 8 or 9. Why does little junior son of a bitch still need the iPad at 8 years old in order to understand that he needs to just wait for his food? But no, they got to set up the fucking iPad like a tent.
They fucking
yeah. They set up the iPad like a tent and like they've got to have that stupid ass mat and all their bullshit, right? They like I said, it's a set. The way we're set up right now, we're set up to fucking work. They set up to work just to fucking feed the child. And I'm like, what are the chances that 20 years from now, those children are going to be successful, self-sufficient adults?
They're gonna be like,
They're gonna be waiting for their little sticky mat every time you take them out to eat, and all
I
that.
was offended. I was offended, and I didn't like it. Where are my hot Cheetos?
Oh Lord, the hot
Sorry.
Cheetos, the hot Cheetos, the hot Cheetos.
The Takis.
Yes, you're creating a net. Good Lord Almighty. A spanking doesn't hurt every now and then. Really, it's not.
Not even spankings, bro. My mom would put me in the corner on rice on my knees.
Oh, that's corporal, but not as corporal.
Okay, just kidding. That never happened.
I'm talking about nosebleeds, like bloody lips and shit, because you just wouldn't listen. That shows how bad of a child I was. And they never put up with that shit. They would take you out. So again, going back to summarize what we've been talking about, we don't hate children. We're not against them. We just, and again, it's not their fault. It isn't. It's you people who are parents' fault for not controlling the kids, or not being smart enough to realize that there's an age bracket that you take certain kids out for, and there's an age bracket that it's just sorry, you chose to raw dog, and now you have to, you can't go to Apple, you can't go to fucking Ruth Chris, or you can't go to Jay Alexander's for a good 5-6 years until, you either teach little junior baby son of a bitch some manners, or they finally grow up to the point where you can actually have a conversation with them and drag them out the restaurant and beat them if they don't listen. I don't know. I don't have kids, but
like
that's what I would do.
One time, I was at a
Use your bad words. I like them.
no, a Comic-Con. I was at a Comic-Con, and
At a comic, what?
I had a booth
Oh, I
there.
thought she said Comic-Con. I was like,
Comic-Con. I sold my things there, and this one family there, and the children were just lined up. And they were so polite and everything. And I said,
almost freaked you out.
"Yeah." I'm like,
They're like Dakota Fanning children.
uh,
They almost seem like they're Martian, like they're alien.
and I said,
Like, are you reptilians?
I said, "Your children are so well behaved." She goes, "This ain't no goddamn playground."
I thought she was gonna say they're reptilian. They're not human.
No, but she says this ain't no playground, and like her, like
Yeah, there you go. Hats off to you, Mom, whoever you were.
yeah.
No, and let's talk about the assholes that need to be told. Okay, so I'm working one day. I'm like balls to the wall, busy, and these people come in, and I mean, I'm Latin, so I get to say it. They're nationals. They were from some Latin country, not Mexico, because Mexico does not allow their children to be disrespectful. Oh, you will get the shit slapped out of you in public by a Mexican mom or dad if you dare to behave the way this kid did. So I asked the kid what he wants to drink, and he didn't look at me, and so I was like, "Hey, mijo, what would you like to drink?" And he's like, "I want a water." Like, I said, "Okay." And so I'm taking everyone else's order, and then he's like, and when I'm walking away, he says, "And I want a Diet Coke." Or no, he said, "I want a Diet Coke." So I didn't hear the "and." So I didn't. Okay, fine. I just heard it. He wants a Diet Coke. So when I bring him the Diet Coke, he's like, "I said I wanted a water." And I was like, "Well, no. When you yelled at me earlier that you wanted a Diet Coke, I thought you meant you wanted a Diet Coke." He's like, "But I said I wanted a water too, didn't I?" And I put the Diet Coke down, and I'm like, "Sir," I was like, "you are a child, and I am an adult." I was like, "I am working." I was like, "So you will respect me. Do you understand? I have treated everyone at this table, including your parents, with respect. So you will respect an adult when an adult is addressing you respectfully. Do you understand?" And he just looks down, and his parents are like rubbing his head there. "Oh, he's just like that. That's how he talks." I was like, "Oh, well, I will not be disrespected." And I walked away. Not the best way to handle that, I think, but his dad follows me to the bar, and his dad's like, "Did you? I don't think you really had to do all that. You can just get us another server." I was like, "Oh, right, yeah, then certainly." I was like, "I will send another server over if you believe that your son is, justified in behaving that way. I'll send another server over there so your son can abuse the other server because I certainly won't take it."
No, you didn't. You said abuse the other.
I
server?
sure did. I was like, I will send another server over there so your son can be abusive to someone else because I won't take it. I'm an adult. I was like, I could be his grandfather probably. I was like, so no. no, sorry. And I told the server, you know, whom I passed the table on to, because when you do that shit, you're telling somebody, I'm about to give you a table who's pissed off. Nobody wants that shit.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one wants that
When
shit.
someone's like, do you want a table? I'm like, why? What did you do?
What happened?
How'd you fuck it up already?
What?
Yeah, exactly. What did you already fucking do? So I tell the server, but he's new, and I'm like, look, they're mad at me. I was like, but they're mad at me because their kid's a little fucking brat, and I had to set him straight. And so they want another server. I was like, I think you'd be good at this. I was like, and trust me, I was like, they're gonna take the shit out of you to make a point to me, which they did. I told them, what they tip you? They left him like a $40 tip on some $70 check, and I was like, good for you, Ethan. Good for you. Good for you. That's because I was not going to get that tip anyways. I was not going to get that out of those people. They didn't look. They weren't dressed like people who would tip $40 anywhere ever. But to make a point to me, like, oh well, this guy was rude to us, so you know we gave Ethan such a good tip and left him a great review. But what's funny is when the manager walked over, I was like, I'm fucking dumped because I was like, she's gonna go over there and ask how everything is, and she sure did. She walked up, she's like, how's everything going over here? And I was like, from in the background in a plant. I was in a plant. I was like literally like watching. She's like, how's everything going over here? And they're like, oh, it's fine. Everything's great. Thank you so much. I'm like, so apparently they understood. They understood the education.
I get
the dad.
No, I freaking get that, but the plant shit was.
It was. I thought I was like, that's it. You're cooked. I was like, those plants. You know those plants that they have. No. Yeah. We're by the cash out stations, the little cow and the plant and shit. So I just pulled the leaves back. It was at 30 like 23. That big ass booth. The half table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So right there where by the server restroom where everyone used to go in and smoke. In the server restroom, I was right there by that cash register.
They used to smoke.
I was like, I was just watching them. I was like, wow, I dare you to fucking say something. No, and they were like, everything's going. They were like, it's going great. Thank you so much. And I was like, and then I'm standing in the kitchen doorway and I'm telling one of the managers to cover my ass. I'm like, by the way, that little kid over there, I was like, was fucking just like talking to me like servant and like snap. Oh, I think he snapped his fingers at me too. Something about it made me snap. I don't know. He must have breathed or something. You know how much I love children.
Yeah.
So, so I'm telling the manager to cover my ass. I'm like, that little boy over there was fucking rude, and he did this and that to me. So I passed the table off, and as I'm talking to her, the mom's looking over and she's seeing the discussion, and I guess it like pained her that we're talking about her kid. So she starts rubbing her kid. She's like, "Oh, you poor thing, you've had such a hard night here," and I'm like, "You're the problem. You're the problem." Instead of being like, look here, you little son of a bitch. If you ever talk to someone like that in public again, I will punch the shit out of you. Do you understand?
But instead she said, you're going to be a motherfucking felon. You're going to grow up.
Yeah, again, what is the chances that in 15, 20 years, that's going to be a fully self-sufficient, responsible, non-douchebag contributing to society? I don't think so. No. I don't think so. They were literally like, oh, poor thing, that waiter got mad at you because you were disrespecting him. Oh. But I love how they didn't snitch, though. I will give them points for that. Because everybody, when they get, oh, don't talk about my babies. Don't you touch my babies. Oh, no, not my babies.
Why did you won't sound like a woman from a church in Georgia right now?
Because that's how they get everyone.
Oh,
no, ain't nobody going to mess with my babies. Oh, no, ain't nobody talking shit about my babies. But you won't control your babies. You don't control them. You don't sit them down. You wait until the waiter is talking shit to be like, ain't nobody got to say shit about my babies. It's like, well, then sit them the fuck down first.
And that's how they get an elbow.
Yeah, or they're going to get a clothesline. One or the other, or get a tray dropped on them. Ooh. Which leads me to another story. Okay, so the Riverwalk, San Antonio. Busy place, right? Tourists everywhere. It's
what happened was...
Yeah, so this big table, and again, not in a racist tone, but this table was Muslim, Hindi folk who wanted all vegetarian meals, everything with black beans and white rice, and they just had to modify the shit out of every fucking thing. So one of them actually ordered a beer. No, they did. Nobody ordered beer. I was bringing beer to another table. That's how the Riverwalk is. You have a tray full of shit for like 3 tables.
No, you have a tray, and then you have a tray.
Yeah. So
this dude is
doing my shit. I'm doing my shit, and when I turn around and forgot that there's like a tall mug like this full of Miller Lite on the edge of the tray. It falls over on the tray this way, directly over a stroller of a baby, and I just start christening a Muslim baby with Miller Lite.
Oh,
I baptized a Muslim baby in Miller Lite.
fucking, what is that? The champagne of beers?
It was the leprosy of slop that I poured over their child, the way they behaved. Oh my God. They wanted my head on a silver fucking platter. I was Osama bin Laden at that point. They wanted
No, you were George Bush.
to them. Oh, that's right. To them. Yeah, to them I was George fucking Bush at that moment. No matter how brown I was. Sorry, guys. They're stray cats, and they're catching Casey's attention. Apparently, she also has a eye for the pussy as well.
Oh, what the?
Cats. We're talking about cats. I'm telling you, these cats are just wandering up to our studio and just, yeah. Instead of groupies, we got cats. The cats are our groupie. The cats are our groupies. Hey, Casey, we got a groupie. It's a cat. Oh, was it a possum? It was a what?
Fucking monster.
Well, we got monsters out here too.
Like I will. Shit had wings. I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we do have some crazy Mothman looking bugs out here. We are in Texas. It is summertime, and you people are starting to bring your kids in from SeaWorld. So I think that was
Your
a good
sticky ass kids from SeaWorld.
Yeah. I think that was a perfect time to bring this segment in and kind of educate y'all on what we really think and feel about when you're bringing your children into a restaurant.
And we can't tell if it's delicious fajitas or fucking your son coming through the.
Do better.
Dude, it smells bad.
Do better.
Wash your kids.
Guys, just do better. Like I said, this whole idea of like your kid is so special that you've got to travel with this fucking,
Red-headed
dumbass,
monster.
ridiculous restaurant kit, including the chair and the mat and the spoon and the fucking. You're doing too much. You're just creating an inept person who's not.
I mean, it's not even that. Just fucking discipline your shit, bro. Like, discipline your shit.
But again, there's a time and a place. If your kid needs that stupid little mat and that rubber spoon and making a mess all over the front, if your kid still needs that, you don't need to be in a restaurant. Sorry. You shouldn't have raw dogged. You should have fucking taken some pills, strapped a helmet on, and that way you can go to Ruth Chris and enjoy your date night quietly and this and that without Junior Baby son of a bitch in the high chair, screaming to get out. Type shit. Exactly. Type shit. People need to know that. And I think that because people don't want to be politically incorrect, they don't want to tell you that. But fuck, this is the show where we say fuck them kids. So we don't fuck being politically incorrect. We don't care.
But I want that.
That's that little kitty. She wants a kitty, not a kid. She's got plenty of kids already. She's got her own.
Yeah. They don't pay rent. And they pee on the toilet seat.
Oh God, yeah, she's a mother of 3 boys.
Dude, like at least twice a day, I sit down and pee, and I'm like, I yell. I mean, we got this thing off of Timo. It's like, if you missed, when you piss, and then there's like, then I said I didn't.
So, if they're doing that at home, what do you think they're doing in restaurants?
Oh, and cat.
And with that, we'll leave you guys. It's been fabulous, and I have loved having my guest co-host, Casey Harden, on today. She has been wonderful, and we might have her back. Who knows? There's plenty of stuff to talk about. Know that there's more out of her, more than her Scottish pink nipples. So,
oh my God.
Until next episode of Just the Tip, where's the rest of it? The podcast made for servers, by servers, to help you in serving. I'm your host, Jules, and your co-host, Casey, signing off. Bye.